Hello everyone, myself Varshita S from Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering. Today we will going to discuss about the HTML tables and HTML forms. So basically, here we are using W3 School for uh, to explain all those things. HTML tables allows the web developers to arrange the data into rows and columns. And first, we need to know about what is the tables in HTML. The tables in HTML consists of table cells inside the rows and columns. Table consists of rows and columns, and this is a sample example for the how the tables are formed in HTML. And the table consists of table cells and table rows, table headers, etc. And table cells means the table cells are defined as TD, and it will also end as /TD tag, and TD stands for table data. The content of the table cells is between the TD and /TD, and the table rows means uh, each of the table row starts with tr and ends with /tr tag, and tr stands for table row. And table headers, sometimes you want your cells to be a table headers. In those cases, we use the tag as th instead of td, and th stands for stable headers. Means in these examples we use here the td is used within the tr tag, and here instead of td we use the th tag. Means it will the heading for the tables like this: the person 1, person 2, person 3 are becomes the header for the tables. And we also includes the main headings for the tables, that is with the help of h tag. And we use the paragraph, can also use the paragraph here using the p tag. And in html we have in html tables we have table. We can also include the table border, table size, table headers, padding and spacing, call span means column span and row spans table. We can also style the tables, and we discuss about one by one. First one is table borders. The HTML table can have the borders of different styles and shapes. When you add a border to a table, you also add the borders around the each table cells. To add a border, we use the CSS border property table th and td elements. And this is a small example. And here uh, we can use the style attribute over there, and with here table th and td, and we can give the border whatever the length we can. And we give the one pixels, and the color becomes the solid black. And we can also give the headings like here table with header borders, and we can also give the properties, means paragraph also. uh, to run this program, if we change here border name, see, it will change the border color, and border size will become larger. We can to avoid having a double borders linked in the example above, set css border collapse property to collapse the border. Means here there are with the main border, we also having the borders with each rows and each columns. And we to avoid that double borders, we use the keyword collapse to collapse the border. See here, can give the syntax as border collapse. It will collapse the borders, two borders into one. And table sizes. HTML can have the different sizes for each column, row, or entire table. Use the style attributes with the width or height properties to specify the size of a table, row, or column. First one is the table width. To set the width of a table, add the style attribute to the table element. In this example, we specify that table style equals to width 100%. If we change over here 150, the width become bigger. See? Or else we can the width become smaller. Next one is the table column width. To set the size of a specific column, add the style attribute on a th or td element. If you want to if you want to extend the column table, the specific column means the size of a specific column, we can use the style attribute over th or td element. In the above example, we use the style in this part only. For this one, for to set the size for specific column, we use within the table rows. Like the first here, the first row becomes the bigger. The first column becomes bigger, and the next two will smaller. So if we want to use this one here, it will also become bigger. Yeah. So it will become bigger. Sorry, smaller. The next one is the HTML table row height. We can to set the height of the specific row. We can add the style attribute on the table row itself. Next one is the table headers. HTML table can have the headers for each tables or row or for many columns or rows. Table headers are defined with th element. Each th element represents a table cells. And here we give the heading as table headers, and here we use the can give the paragraph to the table. And yeah, within the table row we use th means table header. It will become the headers for the tables like first name, last name, and age. Next one is padding and spacing. HTML table can adjust the padding inside the cell and also space between the cells. And cell padding is a space between the cell edges and the cell content. By default, the padding is set to be 0. To add the padding on the table cells, we use the CSS padding property. We can try over here. And here we give the padding is 15 pixels. If we change that one, it will. So the space between the each cells become larger. And if we give, it will become the smaller. Next one is column span and row spans. HTML can have the cells that spans over multiple rows and or columns, and to make the cells span over multiple columns, we use the call span attribute. If you merge the two columns, we use the call span. If we want to merge the two rows, we use the row span. Here, in the first row. No, in the other examples, we use the first name and last name, but here we collapse our, we merge the two tables into two rows into two columns into one. Hence, we use here column and how many columns we have to merge, we have to specify it here. Means here we merge the two columns, hence we have to specify it here, and what is the name we have to given to that row here the name. And if we run, if we change this one, we change the person name will be there. And if we want to merge the two rows or multiple rows, we use the row span. See, that we merge the two rows. I mean, two rows. If we want to phone number, we want to merge the two rows. We use the row span over here. Next one is the table styling. The HTML table means it is known as zebra strips. If you want to add a background color or every other table row, you will get a nice zebra strips effect. And HTML table, it has also vertical zebra strips, means styles every other column instead of every rows. Mm. Here, which rows we have to made a color, that rows we have to specify the zebra stripe tables, and it will give an output here. The first one and the second one and the fourth column. Zebras means first color. There are two colors. First, here we use two colors, and it will the first row becomes white and second row becomes blue. Or we can also change these colors. Next one is the call group. It means the element is used to style the specific columns. It will use to if you want to style the two columns of a table, we use the call group and call elements. The call group element should be used as a container for the column specifications. Each groups in a specified with a column element. The span attribute specifies how many columns that get the style. The style attribute specifies the style to the given columns. Here, this is the example to shows the squares and cube numbers from 0 to 10 with the help of HTML and JavaScript. Here, if you want to, we have to save the file with .html extensions. If you want to run this program, it will save here. And here it will shows the numbers from 0 to 10 with the squares and cubes. And we can also change the background color and the spacing, padding and spacing over there. Here we give the solid black color and the width is 33% and text align becomes center. If we give left, it shows here only. Means the text alignment. Here it will become the, if we give center, it will come over here. If we give left or right, it will come at the end of the table rows. And the next one is the HTML form. HTML forms is used to collect the user input. The user input is most often sent to a server for processing. This is the basic example how the form will work. And here the form actions. The action means it defines the action to be performed when the form is submitted. If we submit this one, the action will take place. Means what we have entered the input. These are the inputs in what we have. User can enter over here. Here the first name I'm entering is Varshita and last name is S. The form, first we need to know about what is the form. HTML form, the HTML form element is used to create the table, means create an HTML form for user input. The form element, it is a container for different types of inputs elements such as text field, checkboxes, radio buttons, submit buttons, etc. All the different form elements are covered in this chapter, means HTML form elements. First one is the input element. It is the most used form element. The input element can be displayed in many ways. Means the input type text, radio, checkbox, submit buttons. The text means it displays the single line text input field, and the radio button displays for it is used for selecting one of many choices, and checkbox is used for selecting zero or more of many choices. The submit button for used for submitting the forms, and the button and displays the clickable button. And the label element. Notice the use of label element is, that means that label tags defines a label for many form elements, and it is useful for screen reader users because the screen reader will read out aloud the label when the user focuses on the input element. And it also helps user who have difficulty clicking on very small regions such as radio buttons or checkboxes, because when the user clicks the text within the label element, it toggles the radio button or checkboxes. The for attribute of the label tag should be equal to the id attribute of the input element to bring them together. Or radio buttons. The here the syntax we used for the radio buttons is input type equals to radio, but radio, it defines a radio button and it is used to select one of limited number of choices. Here we can select any one of these, and if you use the checkbox, we can select multiple choices. So here we can select multiple choices. We can submit. We can click on submit. will submit the forms. And next one is the submit button. It is used for submitting the form data to the form handler. The form handler is typically a file on the server with a script for processing the input data. And it is also specified in the form's actions attribute. If we submit this one, it will submit the form. Next one is the HTML form attributes. It's the action attribute. The action attribute defines the action to be performed when the form is submitted. Usually, the form data is sent to a file on the server when the user clicks on the submit button. In this example, the form data is sent to a file called actionpage.php. This file contains a server-side script that handles the form data. So if we submit this one, here the form is submitted. And the input we have given John's and Roy. And we can also have here we had the paragraph. That paragraph should come here. And another example form. If we run this one, will shows the here we include the heading as choose your favorite web language, and we can give these choices, and we can select what are the language we can prefer. Okay. Thank you.